While at a Mifflin football game, your friend's keys fall out of their pocket while at the top of the bleachers. The keys fall 5 meters to the ground behind the bleachers. Being a good friend, you go behind the bleachers to get the keys and toss them up to your friend. How fast do you have to throw the keys to get them up to your friend 5 meters above you? So the picture is already drawn. Here's you at the bottom of the bleachers. There's your friend. They're 5 meters above you. You're going to throw the keys up following that dashed line, which means they're going to be thrown upward, getting slower, 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 because the acceleration, as always with anything in midair, is down negative 9.8 meters per second squared. So we're going to pull our numbers out of the problem. The displacement, we know the keys are going to travel upward 5 meters, so that's going to be a positive 5 meters. The question is asking, how fast are we throwing the keys? So that's the question mark. The final velocity is going to be 0 because we're saying this is going to be the maximum height the keys would get to if we throw them at the lowest speed that they can go in order to get to your friend. And the acceleration would be negative 9.8 meters per second squared. All right, from this point, we have to pick the equation that does not have time in it because that's the thing we don't have and don't care about. And that's going to be the fourth equation, VF squared equals V naught squared plus 2AD. We're solving for V naught, so I'm just going to subtract 2AD over to the other side. VF squared minus 2AD, once I subtract it, equals V naught squared. I don't want V naught squared though, I just want V naught, so I'm going to do the square root of both sides to get V naught all by itself. VF is actually 0, so that pretty much is just going to go away. I'm not going to write it in there when I put in my numbers. So I'm going to have the square root of negative 2 times A is negative 9.8 meters per second squared times D, which is 5 meters. And we don't want to forget our square root. The negative 2 and the negative 9.8 are going to cancel each other out, becoming positive. And when I plug all of that into my calculator, what I'm going to get is 9.9 meters per second squared for my initial velocity. Be aware, since this is coming out of a square root, it could be a positive or a negative. And remember, in physics, positive and negative just means direction. So should it be a positive 9.9, meaning I threw it upward, or a negative 9.9, meaning I threw it downward? Well, based off of our picture, we know we're throwing it up. So the correct answer is still 9.9, and it's positive. There you go.